actually be night at this point. We are this evening going to have our presidential addresses from Renaud Everard from the Parapsychological Association and Bill Bankston from the Society for Scientific Exploration. Both of these people are very interesting, and they have very interesting things to say as well. What we're going to do is adjust the schedule a little bit, though, because we want to try to do something just a little bit different. Renaud, we're going to play the video for Renaud, which is going to last about 35 minutes or so. And after the video's over, we're going to ask Renaud to go into one of the special topics rooms. And
lounge.
Which one?
Lounge, I think we decided
into
on.
The lounge. Yes, thank you. We're gonna have Renaud go into the lounge. Instead of doing Q&A in this room, we're gonna move into the lounge and have a meet the Parapsychological Association president time. This is where you can ask questions related to this and also kind of have a chance to chat a little bit with Renaud and perhaps get to know him a little bit better. I have to talk to Renaud and make sure he's interested in doing this because we haven't confirmed this yet. But let's consider that that's the way we're going to go. That's going to last for about 30 minutes, 25, 30 minutes. And then when we come back, we'll have Bill Bankston's video and do the same thing with Bill at that point. Now, Bill is actually going to start. We were planning to start about 10 after. We might start just about 5 minutes later, just to make sure we have enough time to gather everything together. But I don't want to hold this up any longer because I'd like to make sure we have time for everyone to have their space to get to know your PA president and also get to know your SSE president after their talks. So, Lorianne, if you want to go ahead and get going with the video, I think we're ready.
Yeah, hello everyone. So I'm Renaud Everard. I'm an assistant professor in psychology and currently the president of the Parapsychological Association. And I found funny to speak about parapsychology as a pseudoscience because I want to highlight the public understanding of parapsychology. So my first slide is about the way parapsychologists purport to apply scientific method to the investigation of commonly reported exceptional experiences and phenomena. But despite over 100 years of associated research effort, the status of parapsychology as a scientific endeavor is disputed by a substantial section of the contemporary mainstream scientific community. We often blame other scientists for such a bad situation, but it seems to be less regrettable and surprising when it is placed in a larger context. In fact, many people perceive the study of human behavior as unscientific. As a cousin discipline of psychology, parapsychology must also undergo the same representation. In fact, there is a lot of new literature about the way psychology has a perception problems. And the more relevant article is one by Scott Liebenfeld in 2012. These articles argue that psychological sciences experiencing a public perception problem that has been caused by both public misconception about psychology, as well as the psychological science community's failure to distinguish itself from pop psychology and questionable therapeutic practices. Ferguson's article in 2015 used this quote in his title, "Everybody's know psychology is not a real science." And currently several researchers are searching to document this public skepticism about psychology. Lilienfeld examines 6 basic forms of skeptical claims against psychology. Psychology is merely common sense. Psychology doesn't use scientific methods. Psychology cannot yield meaningful generalization because everyone is unique. Psychology does not yield repeatable results. Psychology cannot make precise prediction, and psychology is not useful to the society. The data show that this form of skepticism are widespread in the general population. We are missing similar data regarding parapsychology. but it will be interesting to know if the skepticism that parapsychology encounters differs significantly from this anti-psychology skepticism that splash over us. Lindenfield offers rebuttals to this form of basic skepticism. For instance, in contradiction to the claim that psychology is merely common sense, he had collected over 300 examples where psychology findings violate popular wisdom. And in his article, he gave a sample of psychological misconception with the percentage of surveyed undergraduate participants who understood each one. In a similar way, we should work in parapsychology on the multiple misconceptions about the field, even if parapsychologists themselves fail to reach hard consensus about several aspects of their field. Lindenfield also addressed 8 potential sources of public skepticism toward psychology: the psychologist's failure to police itself, the problematic public face of psychology, confusion between psychologists and psychotherapists, insight bias, the illusion of understanding, greedy reductionism, the scientific impotence excuse, the way people discount scientific evidence that disconfirms an important belief by understanding the idea that scientific methods are unable to address that topic. And the last one is the failure to distinguish basic from applied research. Don't we have symmetrical problems within parapsychology? So this is the way I construct my idea, is to apply the same kind of study of the understanding of science inside parapsychology. There is a lot of research. I will not go in deep detail, but there is also in the article of Lindenfield 4 reasons why non-psychology skepticism about psychology is important and why we should care about that. First, such knowledge can forearm psychologists when encountering resistance about psychological findings from students, therapy clients, or laypersons.